Okay, so for the axonometrics here, what you have is you are given an end elevation and elevation of the object, all the way around in this case. One of the important things I'm going to point out to you now is that usually with these, you only need two views to be able to draw the 3D object in the middle here. So in this case, they're giving you the elevation and the end elevation. More cases, they'll probably give you the elevation and the plan or the end elevation and the plan. It depends on the object. But usually between two views, you'll have enough information to draw it. Now, when we're talking about setting up this at this starting point that they've given you over here, what you need to do. Well, first thing you're going to do is set up your set squares, and you're going to go vertically up. So put that line in there like that. That's this one here. The next one they've given you is that they've told you if you go down 30 degrees on either side. Right, so I flip this over. That's going to be that axis there. Okay. So once you have that much, what you need to do. Now, they're going to tell you to tilt 15 degrees out here. And this is what I was talking to you about on Monday. There's actually another way of doing it. And personally, look, I just think it's the way that's shown to you for the Leaving Cert. It's the way that's going to be better usable for you going forward. And it's the way I'd like you to work with. Figuring out where to tilt this at 15 and all of that can be quite tricky. So I'm going to show you the trick. The trick is that you go from this line, okay? So you set your side and set squares up, so it's you have your 90 edge here, and you have that there. What you can do then is you can come in and perpendicular to that line. Now I've moved my set squares there somewhere along the way. Perpendicular to that line, you can draw in the edge of the plane. You can do the same here. Perpendicular to that line, you can draw in the edge of the plane. Just go from that top point there and bring it back down. And then if you've done those two right, when you come up horizontally, they should be like that. So that's your little triangular plane in the middle here that you'll need to draw that into. Now, the next part you need to look at. They want you to project to the right hand side and they want you to project to the left hand side. Pay attention to this now. So what you do is you set up your set squares like this. You continue this line out along. So you'll have that. You're also going to continue this base corner out along like that. And you're going to continue that top point out. And out here, as far out as you can go, well, not as far out, but we'll say, 8 centimeters-ish, you're going to draw a line perpendicular across those. Now, what you do after that, you're going to bisect this line here. Okay, so drawing your arcs. Okay, from the center to the center, and just mark off where that center point is there. Now, if you're fully accurate, this line for axonometric, or this angle here, and this angle here, right, are all the same. That center point should actually be the same as this line coming out. You can see my accuracy is a bit off, so that's why I had to check it. Now, what you do next, and this is the tricky part that you need to follow. You're going to put the needle of the compass on that point and draw a semicircle on the axonometric side of that. So draw the semicircle like this. Now, because I don't like drawing 15 degrees, I find it a bit awkward. Okay, what you do. There's a rule that you should remember from early on, and if we haven't covered it yet, we're going to cover it now. That is that if a line coming, so if you have a circle here, any line coming from the diameter of a circle to a point in the circumference and coming back to the diameter will make an angle of 90 degrees. So in this case, I'm going to bring it to this point here where the line came through. So I can go from that point to the diameter, and from this point the diameter up to the point of the circumference. That will give you a perfect 90-degree angle nearly every time, providing your accuracy is there. Okay, so if you just watch, I'm not even going to talk you through the next side. Just watch me doing it. Maybe it will talk. A little bit more fun. So continue that line out. Continue this line out. Continue this line out. Go across there. Extend, just make sure these lines cross over it. Okay. We'll bisect this just to make sure. Okay, this time my accuracy is a little bit better. You can see it's hitting just on the point there, and if I was to extend that line out, I guarantee you it'll hit the center there as well. So in your semicircle. And how you know if you found the center point right is that once you put the needle here, it'll hit this line and this line. And the last but not least is you just draw in your 90 degrees. So as I said, anything going from the diameter to any point of the circumference, going back to the diameter, will make 90 degrees. And that's true. So even if I was to draw another circle over here, just to show off now more than anything else, and if I drew the diameter along that circle there, right, if I decided I wanted to go to this point, if I go from here to that point and back up to the diameter, that is going to be 90 degrees. Every single time. Don't ask me why. Alright, it just is. So if you have a diameter and two chords go to any point on the circumference, those two chords will make an angle of 90 degrees. Right. 10 minutes just on that. Now, next thing you're going to do then is you're going to draw this image in here at an angle. So what do we have? We have that it's 65 millimeters long. It's going to be quite large. 65 millimeters long. And mark that off there. That's the nose of it. It goes back at 45 degrees. So how I'll do that now is I can bring this down. There. All the set square. Bring this set square down. Sit it like that. And bring the line back at 45 degrees then. Go up at 25 millimeters at the back here. And go up another 15 from that point. So that's there. And what else do you need? So that's going to be the general shape. So parallel to the base, from the 25 over. This one is going to go over a little bit as well. I don't quite know how far yet until. Okay, so if I drew a line up, so there's 5 millimeter coming in here. And you're seeing all this information here. So you see the light grey line. If you go up from that 5 mil, they see this point here. It hits that point there. That hits the 15 mil line coming across. And that going back 45 degrees will give you ripple sounds. A little bit tricky, to be honest. So what do we say? 5 mil. So mark that in. Go up from the 5 mil to there. That's the 15. And then it needs to come back down at 45 degrees there. So that comes back down at 45 degrees. And that's this nearly drawn. The last part I need to look for is this depth here. And I told you the length of that all the way along is where the 45 hits down. So I can bring this point down like that. And when I'm looking for the height of this then, the height of this is given over here in this drawing. So you look at the two drawings together, go up 10 millimeters, mark it off, and bring it along parallel. Okay. Once you have that much information, then you can put your lines in heavy. Alright. So with this side done, we'll go over here. Now what do I have? It's 55 long. 55 long there to the base. Goes up 10 mil, goes up 15 mil, goes up 15 mil. So I can mark that off. Goes up 15 millimeters. No, sorry, goes up 10 millimeters first. 10 mil, goes up 15 millimeters, and it goes up another 15 millimeters there. So that's my points, reference points on the sides there now. Okay, so move you over, but you don't need that drawing over there anymore anyway. Right. What do we have now? So this is all in boxes. Do I know how wide this is? This is 15 mil, so I can go in 15, and in 15 from the other side as well. Right. So I can draw a little bit more. Now, so this one goes over 15, and this one comes back in 15. I can draw these going vertically up. I'll have a line coming up through here, up to not quite the top, so we're going to keep that a little bit lighter. What I can do is I can bring this one along though. And then bring this down and just heavy in this line as well. Right, and the last one we have is we have that 10 mil wide piece at the top. So there's two ways you could do this. You could measure in the 75, or you could bisect this line and measure out 5 mil on either side. They've given you the 7.5 millimeters to come in though. So 7.5 millimeters to come in, and then it's 10 millimeters wide from there. Okay. We'll go up, and we can go across in the right spacings there. Okay. So now we can just focus on our axonometric. Right. So they want us to bring all of this information back into here and draw the ship. So the nose of the ship is going to be down here, and the tails are going to be back here. Now with these, all I'd say to you is always pay attention to what you will and won't be able to see, and try visualize it if you can. Right, now I'm going to bring in my edge here. I'm going to bring in this here. I'm also going to go up to the top, bring in the top point, bring in the other top point, this part here, and the front detail. Okay, so once you've that much done, what you need to pay attention to, you're probably not going to see this wing here. So we're going to work from the front and work our way back and see what detail is actually going to be visible. So parallel, we're going to start marking out. So if I come in, the nose is here. That nose comes out to this point here. The nose also comes all the way out to this point here. I can put those two in. That line going to there, heavy. Because that's an absolute definite. That line touches the ground out here. All right. Next one I can bring in is I can bring in the rest of the main body, and I might do the wing a little bit later on. So this top edge here comes in. This top edge here comes in. Now the important thing about this is that this is going to touch 4 different points, only 3 of which are probably going to be visible. So if I come back in, so there's that front edge there, put a dot, and that one. So that's that front. And it's going to have this back point here, which I didn't bring over earlier. So I need to bring that over now. Okay, so this back point here is going to hit here, but it also hits over here, and it might be worth just noting it. Now, I can connect the front edge, because there's nothing going to be in the way of the front edge here. Okay. You can draw this line across. Now, you need to start paying attention around here. If you were to draw this ground line back in heavy, it's going to be interfering with the side wing. If you draw the top line back heavy, there's nothing here that should interfere with that view. But if you were to draw the back edge in heavy, it would probably interfere with the fin. So what I would say to you is, unless you're absolutely sure of it, do not go heavy from now on until you're 100% sure. Now in this case, I'm pretty sure of this line here, stopping at that point. And I'm just putting in that much at the moment so that I have a bit of understanding with what's going on. I'm going to bring in this wing next. Which one? Bring the wing next so that I'll be able to see where this detail will stop. So that comes in to this point here. That point, and it also stops at, oops. Now, there's where I made my first mistake. That edge there is this 5mm bit. That part is where it comes out of the body. So that's actually this point here. So if I bring this along, that's there. When I bring this along, I should be stopping at that 5mm line. And it goes back to the other 5mm line, or to the end of the 5mm line. So that's going to be from here, we double check, to here. So that's the ground of that. And I can put in the roof of that too, or the upper version of it. So again, more lines I didn't bring over. You can see, this is why axisymmetric does get tricky. It's purely for the amount of lines. It's not because it's a very difficult topic to do. It's because it becomes very hard to follow what's what. Now, so I have this coming in here. That goes to this line and the next line behind it. Okay, you can also see where you'll be able to check for accuracy in these questions. See where there's two lines here and they merge into one. That means that those lines weren't parallel and my accuracy wasn't quite right. Okay. Now, what you would have is that the accuracy is right again. Because these are vertical in these drawings, it's going to be vertical over here. I can draw a line up. So if I have that edge coming in, so this edge coming in, I'd actually be able to draw a vertical line going from this point here up to it. And if I wanted to just be doubly sure, I could bring it in from that edge as well. So that's that point. Now, I can start connecting the dots of it if you can visualize it. This is the front of the wing, this is the back of the wing. So those two connect. This is the front of the wing, back of the wing, so those two connect. Now, where is this point here is important. That point there is starting at the edge and going back in to meet the side of the body. So that goes in that far. And once you have that, you can see where that back edge would drop down to. This much. We also know where the side of the plane, or the rocket, is no longer visible. So we can bring that back to there. And we can draw in the top line of the wing like that. Okay. Oh, I'm 90% sure we're not going to see any of this on the far side here. But we'll just double check. So if I was to bring in this line along, this point along, it's actually lying at the same height as the disappearance for here. So I'm not going to see that on the other side. What I am going to see is I'm going to see this top fin up here. So we're going to do that part next. So bring those edges in. Bring them in. See where they stop. They stop here. So that's the base of that there. Like that. Now, same again, this tapers off to a 5mm. So going from the top, bring your line in, and it only comes in as far as the 5mm here. It does the same over here, so it's confined by the 5mm. Okay. And we need to find this point. So I was bringing this. That stops there. So I'll be able to draw in the rest of this detail here now. Front of the fin, front of the top, back of the top. Drop this down. And then these ones are sloped lines, so they connect from a point to a point. Last thing I need to do then with this question, so I can finish it off, is just put in the back edge going along to where it disappears. And this edge. And that's that question done. As I said, if you wanted, you could try start drawing in this back edge, but you're actually not going to see it. It's going to end up being all hidden detail. I'm going to leave you with that much. It's a 21-minute video. It covers all the basics for the rest of these. If you're having issues with them, let me know.